I'd like to welcome you to the strange French world of Jacques Offenbach and the way of Paris, La Vie Parisienne. When we decided to do this, I was delighted. We talked about doing an operetta some time ago, and of course the first thing that came to mind was Gilbert and Sullivan. I said, why don't we think out of the box a little bit, and suggested some Offenbach might be good. The powers that be here, Marie Hudson and Dr. Roland Blackley and Stephanie Sikora, listened to La Vie Parisienne and were delighted with the whimsy and farcical quality of it, and immediately decided to do that. I almost wondered whether it was maybe a bit more than we could handle. I've been absolutely astounded and delighted to find that the student cast that we've assembled are not only talented, and they are, they're also unbelievably dedicated and hardworking. They are tired frequently because they have so many other demands on them, but they have consistently worked and improved to the point where it's a show that I think any school could be proud of, and I certainly am too. The hard-working quality of this experiment of the theater and music department coming together is working very well. All are learning from one another, and all are helping one another, including me. And I only wish I could be here tonight to see the opening. But I'm sure you're going to be delighted with this gay romp from the 1860s, and these students have embodied this and now understand entirely why it was called Gay Paris. Welcome. La Vie Parisienne probably has more in common with something like Sometimes a Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum than any other opera. It's very silly, it's very fun, it's not meant at all to be taken seriously, and it's just meant to be a good time. And I think that there's an important need for this kind of theater. I don't think it's terribly old-fashioned because it deals with the foibles and the humorous aspects of human nature that remain as true today as they did in 1860s when Offenbach was writing this. Well, since this is a joint production of the theater and the music departments, I wouldn't say there are 4 directors, because it's like a pyramid of directors. This is a very demanding piece, especially for young voices vocally. And it's wonderful to have the expertise of Stephanie and Ron, who are helping them vocally and finding ways of solving problems that may be very difficult for young voices to do. And then we have, of course, Bobby Wessner, who is handling all aspects of movement, but he himself understands the style too. So it doesn't seem like too many cooks spoiling the broth. Everybody is cooperating, and it's all coming together with its focal point on the cast, and they're responding beautifully. My introduction to Offenbach, beyond the fact that I'd heard some of the overtures as I was studying music growing up, was when I was playing with the Ohio Light Opera 20 years ago. And they did La Vie Parisienne. I had never known it. And we were lucky enough to do this with probably the foremost expert on operetta in the country. His name is Richard Traubner. He knew the style very well, so we were taught how to do this very authentically. I fell in love with it because of the funny characters. I played the Baron Gondramark that you'll see, and I just enjoyed the character tremendously, but I also enjoyed the way we were able to draw the audience in by the energy and by the enthusiasm and by the fun that it was to perform. It drew the audience in, so it was a big party with us on stage and them in the audience. And I'm hoping, and I think this will happen, that this is going to happen with our cast here at Ashland University. They're certainly enjoying themselves, and I have no doubt that anyone, students, non-students, people from the town, will be drawn in and have what it feels like is a big party, and that was the intention that Offenbach had in writing this.
love and